Hi there. Well, in the year of the COVID, the interview process will not nearly be as efficacious as it has been in the past. So what we thought we'd do here at the Atlanta Medical Center is do a brief video showing what we have to offer in the realm of the Orthopedic Surgery Residency Program. My name is Stephen Kane. I've been the chair here for the last 12 years, and we've gone from a smaller community program to a much larger, much more research involved, and very heavy surgically oriented program. Lots and lots of changes have occurred over the last decade. Namely, we have become a much more diverse program. We have had 6 women accepted into the program in the last 6 to 10 years. We have a full complement of any and all minority students and residents in the program. 2 of our division chiefs are minorities. One is a woman. And that is, in my opinion, one of the real progressive and welcome changes we've had in the program. The program itself is really a very interesting program. You're going to get to see 2.5 years of experience in the outside community with the best 50 faculty I could find in the city of Atlanta. You will train in the private offices of who I consider to be the finest example of private orthopedic surgery care, be it total knee, be it shoulder surgery, be it pediatrics, be it foot and ankle, whatever it may be. During that time, you'll also spend 6 months at one of the best children's orthopedic departments in the country, if not the world, here at the Children's Hospital of Atlanta. And that experience is indeed one of the best that you can find anywhere. The other 2.5 years you'll spend in here at the Atlanta Medical Center, which is a level 1 trauma center. And during that time, you will get to operate liberally and a lot. We see a lot of trauma involving all aspects of the human musculoskeletal system. And certainly you will not leave here without the ability to operate, as you will become the primary surgeon quickly and often. Our interns and first-year residents are very well versed in almost all aspects of orthopedic trauma care. When I came to the program about 12 or 13 years ago, there were 2 areas that I felt that we needed to improve. One of them was our ability to have the residents have access to a cadaveric research and surgical skills laboratory. And in 2008, we built that laboratory here on campus, where it is staffed full-time with an orthopedic laboratory technician, and we have a full complement of fresh frozen cadaveric specimens of any type or kind anywhere in the body. And what that means is, if you're going to do a tough case or your first case on a knee or a shoulder or whatever, you have the ability to have that specimen thawed ahead of you getting there and placed on a table, and then you can go over on your own time and with the assistance of a faculty or by yourself dissect or scope that particular anatomic specimen. That is of great value, and one that I encourage the residents to use freely. And if you come here, you will have access to the arthroscopic and fresh cadaveric specimens. Again, these are fresh specimens. These are not the embalmed kind. So when you actually cut into these or operate on them, it is very much like the real specimen or the real anatomic area that you're interested in. The second thing that I wanted to do was improve our research capabilities. We had a good research department back then, but what we didn't have was university affiliation, being that we are a freestanding community hospital. Since that time, we've opened up 2 university affiliations. One is with Georgia State University, and I'll give you an idea what we have there. We have full access to one of the world's most advanced motion analysis laboratories. For example, we have a study and a project ongoing over there where a Division I athlete, and these happen to be from the baseball team, are going into this laboratory where there's an array of 50 some odd sensors and cameras around these athletes, and they'll throw a baseball into a net, and then a perfect anatomical reproduction of them will be created by their computer science department, where we can then break out the shoulders, the knees, the hips, the spine, and analyze motion from one aspect of anatomy to another in the throwing motion. We plan on doing this for the tennis serve, the forehand, the backhand, golf club swings, any number of things, and we will have a lot of projects that can be very interestingly done there. Additional studies would involve ambulatory studies or motion analysis gait studies. This laboratory was open to you and open to our residents now, and is really one of the great advantages in coming here. The second university affiliation that we've now signed is with Utah State University. I used to be the team physician for Utah State, and I have a lot of friends there, and it's one of the nation's most advanced biomechanical labs. And what they do there is analyze biomechanical specimens. In other words, they bend to failure or torque to failure, any number of things. And they have upgraded their lab so much so that if you have a project or made out of sawbones or other materials, and they will bend or torque to failure your constructs, your ideas, your reconstructions. And they have several graduate students that take our projects and complete them along with finite motion analysis, and then send you back the data, the graphs, the photos, the papers, anything that goes along with that, and helps you publish those papers. This is also associated with the fact that Utah State has a veterinary medicine department and laboratory analysis area where if you do or want to do animal research, it can be done there. They have swung full steam ahead with us, and we now have published in the last 3 months 1 paper out of there, and have 3 or 4 more ongoing currently that we feel all will likely get published. And if you have interest in orthopedic biomechanical studies, that's where you'll probably be able to do it. And the residents who do those papers fly out to Utah State for a 2-day time frame and get their project underway. And then once they understand how to do it, their graduate and undergraduate students will help complete the biomechanical testing. So those advantages are real. We now have access to 2 major research universities that will help us achieve a greater footprint in the world of research. We have 1/3 opportunity coming. We are in negotiations with Mercer University to provide them with orthopedic education, and I can't say too much about that until it comes to fruition, but I expect that at some point we will also be doing some orthopedics at Mercer School of Medicine. Why are there other reasons to come here? I think the one that gets talked about most by my residents or our residents is that we are a family. This is not an ivory tower where you can't come into the chairman's office and express your opinions or discuss concerns that you have. The door at my office is always open. I consider the residents as one big family, and the faculty are as well. It is not uncommon at graduation to see a lot of tears being shed by the graduates who realize that they are leaving a part of their past behind, and it isn't just where they trained, it's they're leaving part of their family. Our residents truly consider themselves as brothers and sisters, and I think that's the way a residency runs best. And if you come here, you'll be part of the family. You'll be supported and included in all activities. We do things after the workday is over, and certainly Atlanta is a wonderful place to carry out those kind of things. Other advantages to our program, it cannot be understated how much the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport is an advantage. 15 minutes south of this office is that airport, and if you want to fly anywhere in the world, or for sure America, you can leave here, walk down to, or drive down to the airport, and as I've done many times before, even without a reservation, walked in and booked a flight within the next 2 or 3 hours to anywhere where I needed to go. Although it costs a little more if you do it that late, it is a great advantage to have the ability to go anywhere in America, mostly nonstop, out of that airport without having to make connections. Additionally, Atlanta is just one of those places, if you can't find something fun to do, there's something wrong. Professional sports, great restaurant districts, theater, music concerts, and my particular favorite, there is a tremendous amount of hiking, camping, and exploring to be done in the North Georgia mountains, which is about an hour and a half to 2 hours from here. And I avail myself to that as well. Great biking trails and a lot of recreational activities and opportunities surround a big city of this nature. And it doesn't take very long to get out of the big city and into some of the beautiful areas of Georgia. All in all, I think this program is one of the great programs in the country. It gives you an opportunity to operate soon and often. You'll be trained by 50 of the best surgeons of their kind in the South. They are handpicked, and I stand behind all of them. Most of them are fellowship trained and national and internationally recognized. You'll be given the opportunity to do a lot of surgery at the trauma center, and you'll get to learn how it's done in the very private world as well, which is a nice mix of how your educational process will go. I have no qualms in saying that were I given the opportunity to train here, back when I did, I would have come here. I think it's one of the superior educational opportunities, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks.
Hey, I'm Gil Thompson, one of the chief residents here at Atlanta Medical Center.
I'm Zach Atkins, one of the PGY4s.
And we're just going to give you kind of a little rundown of things that we've enjoyed during our time here at Atlanta Medical Center. I think one of the big strengths of the program would be just the close-knitness of our residents. We're all really close. We work really close together. I feel like we do a good job of just bouncing things off of each other, and we all get along really, really well. And it's been a good 5 years of just working with these guys and really becoming friends with them, more so than even just becoming colleagues.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. You get really close with obviously your own classmates, but also the classes right above you and right below you. And then even as a chief, you kind of have a special relationship with the PGY2 that's on service with you. So I think we are a really tight-knit program. And what initially drew me to this program as an applicant, so I did the HPSP program for the Air Force, and my goal for an orthopedic surgery residency was to be able to train for 5 years and lead that program and feel comfortable operating without having to do a fellowship beforehand. This program definitely meets that requirement of mine. We get a fantastic operative experience. You get to operate early on, and that continues through all 5 years of your training. So every resident who leaves here, I believe, has great hands. They feel comfortable going into the operating room and treating patients without necessarily having to do a fellowship. That said, most of us still do and get very good fellowships. So it's an option if that's what you're interested in, but certainly most of us that graduate from this program still do get very good fellowship opportunities.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think if going in and doing a fellowship post-residency is something that you're interested in, one of the strengths of this program is the amount of community involvement that we have and the connections that those community physicians have with fellowship program directors. We've sent people into hand upper extremity fellowships, pediatric fellowships, foot and ankle, spine. There's a bunch of different fellowship opportunities, and I think that speaks to just the connections that we have with a bunch of the physicians in the Atlanta community and their connections around the country with great fellowship opportunities. Something else that, from just a residency program standpoint, we do a lot of teaching as residents, and we typically have conference on Fridays. We also do journal clubs monthly. And we also do just like resident kind of brotherhood events, brotherhood and sisterhood events, where we try to get all the residents together to just enjoy being with each other and kind of create that camaraderie and just enjoy being in each other's fellowship.
Yep. And kind of along those lines too, Atlanta is a great place to train. From an orthopedic standpoint, it's great because we get a lot of high volume trauma, really high acuity stuff. And you get to work with some great surgeons out in the community as well, like Gil was talking about. But it's also a great place to live. Very affordable housing for a large city, great airport. You can fly usually direct anywhere you're wanting to go. Atlanta is it was kind of a surprise to me because I hadn't spent much time here before starting residency, but just a very beautiful city, a lot of parks, a lot of trees everywhere. It's really great for residents, kind of regardless of what station you are in life. I'm married. My wife and I have 2 kids, and it's great for us. But there are plenty of single folks in this program who also have a lot of opportunities for, whatever they're wanting to do in their free time. So I think everybody's pretty happy with living in Atlanta. There's a lot that it has to offer.
Hi, my name is Dr. Xavier Duralde. I'm a shoulder specialist here in Atlanta. I've been here for about 27 years practicing, and I've been involved with the AMC program for probably the better part of the last 10 years. It's been a great experience. I've really enjoyed getting to know the residents and feel very good about the residency program. It's a program that's well-rounded. You get a good mix of pathology and practice styles. In the AMC Center, you're going to have a lot of trauma. You're certainly not coddled there, so if you can survive there, you can survive anywhere. And it's a good experience to have. It's sort of like the Grady experience in Atlanta. I trained in New York City, same thing. High volume trauma, which is good because that's how you really learn orthopedics. The other benefit is that you leave there to go see a lot of private practices, so you get to see how private practice works. I'm a shoulder specialist, that's all I do. I'm the vice president of the American Shoulder and Elbow Surgeons right now, and have a highly focused practice: shoulder arthroplasty, sports medicine, reconstructive surgery. 1/3 of the cases I do are revision surgery, so cases that have failed elsewhere. So they're complex and a really good learning experience. The experience you get with me is the same you get with other attendings that participate in the program: hand specialists, foot specialists, spine specialists, foot and ankle, sports. In each of those places, you'll see subspecialists from different private groups in Atlanta who are highly trained to the best programs in the United States, and are doing cutting edge surgery. And so you get the advantage of being able to see all those different people, be in a different environment, and work in some really nice hospitals that actually run efficiently as opposed to most teaching hospitals. Dr. Kane's done a fantastic job of organizing the program. He watches over you carefully, make sure you get a good education. So I think it's a good experience for you, and you certainly finish the program feeling ready to practice orthopedics. And in the old days, guys went straight into practice, general orthopedics throughout the state. Nowadays, most of the residents are going on to do fellowships, and people go to pretty good fellowships around and do subspecialty medicine. So I think it's a great program for learning all of orthopedics. You will feel confident with your skills. You'll see cutting edge surgery, and you'll get an opportunity to do a fair amount of surgery while you're here as well. So program to consider strongly. You'll get a good education. You'll be a good surgeon when you're done. So hope to meet you soon when you come. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Stephen Smith. I'm an orthopedic surgeon here in Atlanta. I have been practicing at Peachtree Orthopedics and involved with the Atlanta Medical Center Residency Program for many, many years, over 20 years actually. As far as the residency, I think it's well run by Dr. Kane. He's done a phenomenal job at developing that program. I've known Dr. Kane for many, many years. We were actually residents together a long time ago, and he's just done a tremendous job with the program and has made it one of the leading orthopedic residency programs in the nation, in my opinion. What makes it special, one, is the people. He always seems to recruit a tremendous group of residents every single year. I'm always amazed. He has a very good mix of people, both geographically. He has males, females, people from all different backgrounds, and they all seem to become the best of friends. And I have developed many great relationships that are ongoing as they become my colleagues all over the country and all over the state of Georgia. I think they do a tremendous job with the balance in that program. There is a tremendous clinical and academic balance. I think with a lot of programs across the nation, they either lean more towards clinical or more towards academics, and they just don't get the clinical experience. But I think AMC has a tremendous balance where you get a lot of exposure to trauma surgery, you get a lot of exposure to all the different specialties, and you certainly have no shortage of operative experience. But that can be overdone sometimes, and you just don't get the academic end of it either. And Dr. Kane has done a great job at making sure that the residents get that academic exposure that you so need over the years to become a really solid orthopedic surgeon. I am a private orthopedic surgeon, and that's one of the beauties of the program, is that they have a nice mix between orthopedic surgeons who are dedicated to the Atlanta Medical Center environment, and then you have a nice mix of private orthopedic surgeons out there that teach the residents how to run a private practice, how to approach problems in a private setting, as well as how to administer clinic in a private setting also, which can be very different sometimes than an academic setting and a trauma type setting that you get at Atlanta Medical Center. So I think the program is in a really good place right now. I think the people are wonderful. I think that if you come to Atlanta Medical Center, you're certainly going to develop lifelong friends and relationships and receive a quality orthopedic education. And I hope to see you soon.
Hi, I'm Gary Lurie. I'm the co-director of the hand surgery rotation for the AMC WellStar program, and I've been affiliated with this program for greater than 20 years, so I feel very confident in going over what I think is the exceptional program that we have here. Like I said, I'm the co-director of the hand surgery rotation, and Alan Peljevich is the other co-director, and Josh Ratner helps us out too. And I think the strength of our program really begins in the first 2 years. I think our residents that come in those first 2 years under the guidance of Drs. Kane, Beecher, Dr. Ross, Dr. Norbush, Dr. Fury, and Dr. Brugers, and others get an amazingly good, solid foundation in that first 2 years. And after training at Duke and being affiliated with Emory, I can tell you without question that our residents that come out of AMC WellStar are best suited to go anywhere from private practice to academics, and many of us do send our residents to fellowships that proves that point. So that first 2 years is an amazing foundation in trauma, the basics in orthopedics, and then when they come to the third year, we are fortunate to get the third year resident for 3 months, and then they come back as a chief for 2 months. And I think the strength of the hand surgery rotation is that myself and my two other partners, Drs. Peljevich and Ratner, are very excited. We're very fortunate to have the resident, and through, I think, a lot of intense one-on-one relationship, not only in the OR but in the office, our residents in the third year get a very, very good foundation of what hand and upper extremity surgery is, concentrating on anatomy and then applying that anatomy into pathologic situations. So in those first 3 months, they get a tremendous foundation of hand surgery, and I think that's based on the fact that we put a lot of our residents into hand fellowships, and a lot of them leave those fellowships with jobs that are either suited in academics or private practice or anything in between. So the strength of the hand rotation, I believe, is the teaching, it's the one-on-one, it's the amount of reading that we expect, the amount of hands-on experience both in the office and in the OR, and then that usually will end up with 1 to 2 projects per resident that most of them, at least on my rotation, will go on to publication. So this hand rotation is really replicated by all the other ones that I think are out in the community too. You probably have heard from Drs. Duralde and Dr. Stewart, and all of them, I think, put the same emphasis on teaching and the same emphasis on one-on-one that we provide in our hand rotation. So couldn't say anything more about this residency. Dr. Kane has come and instituted what I think is probably one of the best residencies that I've been affiliated with and in the country. So I know it's tough times right now with COVID, and I know it's tough that you guys aren't rotating with us, but give us a look and reach out to Dr. Kane. And if anyone wants to talk to us more personally on the hand rotation, then he'll provide our contacts. Thanks for your time.
Hi, I'm Ashley Mellon, one of the 4th year residents at AMC. Just wanted to share some of the things that I've enjoyed about my past 4 years here. I think we have a great clinical experience, which I'm sure my co-residents can attest to as well. We get our interns in and started early. One of the nice things I think that we do for our intern class in particular is that we send them as a group to AO Basic each year, And we are able to support them by making sure all of their clinical responsibilities are covered so that they're able to go and do that as a class. It's a really nice bonding experience, and I don't think everyone is able to do that first year and to do it together. Other things that I think make our program unique and things that I know that I've appreciated and enjoyed is our on-site lab. So it's just a short walk across the street from the main hospital. So if you have any time available during the day, an hour, at the end of the day, in the middle of the day, you're able to just walk across the street and have access to specimens to do dissections. I found this really helpful, especially as a junior resident, to be able to do dissections with my senior residents. And then we were also able to get attendings involved to help us with new approaches and cadaveric studies. The other thing that's nice about our lab is that we can have industry-sponsored research, which happens frequently, and have different companies bring in implants that we can use for research purposes. The other thing that's really nice is we have a fantastic lab tech. He's available for us all the time. He makes the specimens available as soon as possible. So I think people really go out of their way to allow us to utilize the lab to the best that we can. Other things that we're able to do in terms of research and conferences and courses is we have access to the Georgia State Lab here in town. Different vendors will make us aware if there are labs around town going on that we can participate in. We're also fully supported if we choose to do out-of-state courses and conferences. I had the luxury of being able to go to an upper extremity course as a second year out in San Diego, to an arthroscopy course at the Orthopedic Learning Center just outside of Chicago last year. And I know several of the upperclassmen are able to attend AO Advanced each year, and then a number of other subspecialties, which I think makes us special, and we all are able to cover for each other and make those opportunities happen for one another. Another thing that's really special, I think, about our program is we have a great relationship with our in-house sales reps. They're always available to us for questions. They make sure that we have what we need in terms of implants. They make us look good on a daily basis, which kind of is a nice relationship that we're able to have with them. They're a great resource. And then I think finally, Atlanta is a great place to live. It's a great place to work. We all love spending time together. Most recently, one of our junior residents introduced spike ball to us, which we get out into Piedmont Park and play pretty frequently, and it gets pretty competitive and it's a lot of fun. And then there's countless other opportunities to have fun in the city between live music and all the professional sports teams. We've been to several games. Several of us have been to several games. The Atlanta Hawk games with Dr. McMahon, Braves games, the Atlanta United soccer team is an awesome experience. It's so much fun. And I think we all really enjoy working in Atlanta, living in Atlanta, and spending time with each other.
Hey, so I'm Zach Residency, one of the fourth-year residents at Atlanta Medical. One of the, honestly, the best things about this program is really the brotherhood and sisterhood of the residents. We're a tight-knit group of best friends, honestly. You work day in, day out with each other, and especially early on in the years, you get really close with your class and really look at the upperclassmen as mentors in a way. The great thing about AMC, it really is a true, private-demic type residency where you get the academics of being in a level 1 trauma center with great attendings. We do lectures every Wednesday and every Friday afternoon. We have our own cadaver lab, an entire new department with research editors and coordinators. And you really do get that, large trauma academic center feel there as a junior resident, and when you come back as a senior resident. But then, from the time in between, you're working with a number of, big name private practice attendings where you get to see the private, business aspect of medicine, ambulatory surgical centers, how you run, real life orthopedics. And that's honestly one of the best things about this program. You get to pick their brains and figure out how you want to set up your practice in the future. You get to see a number of different attendings and different ways of doing different procedures. So it's nice that you get that variety. and you get to see really, a little bit of everything from different experts in the field. And the private docs who we work with here, they really do. I mean, they're the ones who are writing the textbooks and the big name, manuscripts and journals. So it really is such an honor and privilege to get to work with them. And really, Atlanta's just a fun place to live. The Beltline is right around the hospital, where you have tons of restaurants and great nightlife. And really, whenever you get free time with your residents, there's a lot to do. And really, it's just a fun place to be.
Hey, I'm Dr. Gary Stewart. I'm the Chief of Foot and Ankle at Atlanta Medical Center, Department of Orthopedics. I'm also work with Residency Orthopedics, one of the private practice groups here. I think Atlanta Medical Center is one of the top programs, and I'll tell you why. Because you actually get to operate here. And you've got private practice physicians who specialize, or some of the top private practice physicians in the city. So you're not just getting folks that just are kind of academics, and you have that too. But you have folks that are actually out there doing it in the real world and can not only give you some practical knowledge on orthopedics, but some also practical practice knowledge in what you can do. And I think the strength of the program really is the residents. We try to make sure that we have people with a great work ethic, that love orthopedics, and just have a whole sense about learning. And so I feel really privileged to work with the orthopedic residents here. We've got a great, diverse program, and Dr. Kane has been very proactive in maintaining that and retaining that, and also promoting that as well. And so I think you really should give us a shot. We'll get to see some of the surgical centers across the city, work with some of the best docs. And I think I used to say we were a diamond in the rough, but I just say we're a diamond now. So pick us.